Hello, friends and bees and friends who are also bees, and welcome to this week's Destiny 2 stream. This week we are going to be hanging out. Apparently, I don't know if there's like more story stuff. If there is, we're going to be starting with that. Otherwise, we're just going to be hanging out. We'll probably work on some challenges. That sounds like a plan to me. So I put the PvP and PvE tags in because knowing me, I'll probably wind up doing Gambit, which counts for both. But I might play some Crucible as well, depending on what the challenges are. So, without any further ado, let us hop over to the gameplay. I press that, and my monitor turned off, and I nearly had a heart attack. So, new override, Entangled Shore, vulnerabilities in the first expunge mission, Mayhem in the Crucible, and Insight Terminus Nightfall. I have to say, I was attached to my old, I really like that one. Iron Banner returns. Valor for the taking. New offensive override on the moon. And Vault of Glass is now available, which is great. Another thing that I'm not going to do for ages, knowing me. Let's have a look at our 3-2s. Drums. Okay. Pokeball. Two more override. Right here. Story. Manage to worsen override, then speed attacks anywhere, complex cheats, auto rifles, moon, prime engrams, Gambit. I don't feel like doing Iron Banner. Crucible I could handle. Iron Banner I just could not. Right, so we still need to do sidearms and auto rifles. Hopefully, see what I've got. I'm going to. Oh, I was going to read the lore on those before I ate them. Cluttering moment of terror where I think, oh my god, did I, words are so difficult. Customary moment of terror where I think, oh my god, did I unmute myself? So yeah, let's start off by doing the next story mission. Then, what have we got? We need to do a tropic shot. I feel like working on challenges today, so that's probably what we'll do. On some gambits, some crucibles, some strikes. These.
I think I have something you will like.
I've not loaded in since last week, so. Whoops, looks around shiftily. Pretty certain I have all of these. Why do I pick up hand cannon? I don't know. We have a sections. Oh, not exotic. Just not. Oops. Jackson Clader gone. Cabal dropped out of nowhere. They must have our transponder signals. Vanguard ship. IDS code is scrambled. Please re-authenticate. We need to make an emergency landing at Venus FOB. Please re-authenticate. 5 times. I tried re-auth 5 times. Look, I have a damaged jump ship and I'm escorting a frigate of civilians. Clear me for landing. Clearance denied. Venus Forward Operating Base automated orbital defenses now online. No, turn them off. I cannot comply. Worthless piece of scrap. New plan. Captain Hennick, you still with us? Reading you loud and clear, Guardian. What's the plan? Those Cabal cruisers are right behind us. I'm sending you new coordinates. We'll make a few short jumps, try to lose them in the... Still work. See? Green blinking light means the ship will never fly again, you. What value is there in a flight recorder? You never write a journal before? I have, but I failed to see the value. On my way up from Zero to talk to you, and no offence, but you're a brief border and a quiet taste. I'll talk to that one, and I don't speak for them. You see what I mean? So you'd rather talk to yourself? Now you got it. Come on, help me disconnect the primary power cup. Been trying to figure out how to word this. Don't know if I'll ever make it back to Earth. The thought of not saying goodbye to you keeps eating away at me. I don't know if you're safe. Don't know if you made it out of the city. Comms are down. Cabal control the channels. Been trying to get to the Awoken for help, but after the whooping Oryx gave them, they're reluctant to get between us and the Cabal. I miss you so much. If we see each other again, none of this will matter. I'll complain about reef cuisine, you'll criticise all my tactical choices, and I'll fall asleep in your arms. None of this will matter. But in case it does, I just want you to know that I love you. Even out here beyond the light, I never forgot that. We got the old dead orbit ships shared up as shelter. Atmospheric controls are still working. Heat and radiation shielding seems good. The friendly fallen out here are real helpful. I thought they were slaves of the Awoken, but it's not like that at all. Captain Hennick finally succumbed to his injuries. I was with him when he was. Last thing he said to me was, I guess right now we're not all that different. I wish you were here. A fallen named Kesk is helping me hardwire a linguistic modulator his people built into the flight recorder. Should translate their speech back to me in something I can understand, and then I can run it through the vocal processing heuristics on board my jump ship to speak back. Faster than learning a language, I don't have math parts to speak. Today was our anniversary. I hope we were looking at the same stars. Traveller. Great machine. Okay. Family. Catch. That's where we're hitting the wall. Can we try some root words? We need to build a fallen database. Elixni. Right, sorry. Elixni. I had this dream. Like a memory of a memory, you know? But I swear, I heard your laugh when I woke up. Being lightless is hard, but it's these little phantom pains that are the hardest. I feel like my whole life is a phantom limb. Light. Light. I'm not sure why I'm surprised by that. We are all forged in that. It is what we lost. Yeah. We're not all that different now, you and I. Why do you say that? Only until my monitor turns back on. Hope much was working. When we live, it is in the shadow of the life we once had. When we die, it is the end of our story. That makes sense. Many things do when you take the time to stop and listen. Hear. Dig. Dig. I'm heading back to Earth. The locals agreed to take care of the civilians. I don't know if I'll find you, but I can't sit here anymore. If I find you, you never heard this. But if I don't, and I live, being here has opened my eyes to a lot of things, and I just can't fight like this anymore. Not without you. There's an enclave out past the Jovians. Pacifists. You'll find me there. Kesk will have my sidearm. I told him to give it to you if you come looking for me. If he finds out that you're gone, just send it to the Vanguard. I won't need it anymore. All I need is you. Oh, that's sad. All for this one is the Endless Night. What is it? What does it do? We may not have all the answers, but here's what we know. Remote scans of the Endless Night either failed to return data or returned contradictory data. This behaviour suggested an emittance of an electromagnetic disruption, which indicated this is more than a simulation projected over the city. Confirmation of this disruption has occurred as every probe sent into the clouds, even shielded ones, experienced acute electrical overload within seconds. Now, having confirmed the existence of the EM field, we've reached a new hypothesis and a re-evaluation of initial scans. We believe that we are not, in fact, receiving contradictory data, but a scrambling of our own scans being rewritten with new information. These scans are subsequently being bounced back to us and are infiltrating our systems via routing programs masquerading as collected data. Anyone wondering how they managed to shut down our power distribution and water purification facilities without firing a shot needs to look no further. They set a trap and we sprang it. This information absolutely must be added to the rest of the consensus. Some of my colleagues believe the actual night visualization is meant to be a means of psychological warfare. Whether or not that is intended is not whether or not that is intended wasn't clear, although there's undoubtedly been an effect on the population, as reports of illness and sleep loss have spiked considerably. I've moved to cease all data collection, but I've repeatedly been overridden by higher clearances. I must again recommend that we sever all collections and terminate any data connection sweeps. We're digging our own graves otherwise. Whatever executive still has the uplink running, knock it off. Playing with fire here. Good on them for saying it, huh? This. The Splicer drew the shivering hatchlings ghost. Stretched by this. I agree with does look nice, but not as nice as I currently look. What was I doing? Reading Blade Law, that's one of the things. Ada1 had the trap of comm channel opening before a distorted voice spoke. I've got eyes on entries and exits. Looks clear. She stepped through a rusty doorway into a courtyard. The wind whistled through the torn seams of decrepit structures and raindrops crackled on loose metal plating. She walked through the muddy soil and stopped where the Bogusia forge used to stand. Curses, she spat. Her hands fidgeted as her gaze wandered aimlessly around a nearly barren landscape. Artemis 5 perched on a broken pillar, her scope methodically rotating through doorways and windows while her ghost floated patiently overhead. The other two members of Adol's escort lodged against a broken wall to the rear, silently watching the black armourer. She looked back, studying their featureless helmet plates, then quickly turned away. Her foot clanked against something hard and metallic. She stooped down and picked up a forgotten slab of black armoury alloy, a remnant of the lost forge. Artemis kicked her into the comms again. That forge tech? Any clues of what happened here? Ada sighed as she studied it. Scorched cannon sears, wire rifle cuts, kinetic ricochet marks. Almost like there's been years of combat here, Artemis quipped sarcastically. How astute. There's nothing more to glean here. She took a deep breath, a useless gesture in her exo body, but a compulsion nonetheless. Sun's fading. Devram's got eyes on a fallen raiding party. Not headed our way yet, but I'd rather not take chances. You have what you need? Hardly, Ada said. But we won't find much else. This area's been thoroughly scavenged, same as the others. Fallen? Artemis asked. With no guardians to bother to stop them? Could have been anyone. Artemis winced. I could only imagine how you must feel. The Vanguard had a tough call to make. Planetary evacs came first. And now they're on to exciting new frontiers, while I'm left with nothing but rubbish, Ada said, her voice full of false cheerfulness. Artemis leapt down from her vantage point and placed a hand on Ada's arm. Ada's shoulder slumped. I am glad for the evacuations. I shouldn't have. A howl echoed from somewhere in the complex. Artemis readied her rifle and one of the escort squad entered the comm channel. Pikes changed heading. We should get her out. Are you ready? Artemis asked. Ada studied the broken slab of metal in her hand, turning it over and tracing its jagged edges. I'm not sure, she said, tightly clutching the piece of debris. But what choice do I have? The hiss of Ada's wedding torch echoed through the armory hall, compounding into a sea of discordant noise until the scene was complete. She placed the tool down and grabbed the piece of alloy in her hands, testing the bond strength. The actuators and the fingers whirred with effort, but as her focus shifted to the open tome in her desk, the metal promptly snapped. Ada let out an exasperated groan. 2 more pieces of detritus dropped on an already cluttered floor. Did you forget to measure twice? A voice called out from behind. Ada whirled around as Hawthorne sauntered into the hall. Isn't that saying based on woodworking? Ada said flatly. Hawthorne shrugged. Don't have any welding jigs. She stepped over the tangle of cables. Great environment you got. Love the decor. Ada turned to her tone with intense focus. Can I help you with something? Hawthorne chuckled. I was going to ask you that. Heard the cursing all the way up the stairwell. Can you interpret armory schematics and machine the parts that needed to assemble them? Ada answered without looking up. Unlikely, Hawthorne said. Can you convince Vala to stop asking me when a forge will be optional again? Hawthorne puffed her cheeks and exhaled. Even less likely. Ada quickly flipped a page of the tome. The paper snapped, nearly tearing. Sounds like the answer to your question is no. Is that why you're doing this? Vanguard orders? Ada jabbed a thumb at her own chest. The forges are my legacy. It's my responsibility to continue the operation. Zavala's desires are tangential. Hawthorne stepped closer to Ada's workstation. Help me out here. I'm not super familiar with your illustrious organization's history. Was the Armory born of a dream to have the world's greatest gun oven? Ada sighed. The Armory was founded to stand against the darkness, to shield humanity when we couldn't count on others to do so. The Forges were simply the tools we used. So much for that grand plan. Pyramids rolled in, and last I checked, Mars is still missing. Titan. Mercury. Did you come all the way down here solely to antagonize me? Ada sniped. All right, Hawthorne pleaded. Look, I know we aren't friends or anything. I'm not sure you have any of those anyway. Ada glowered. Right, sorry, Hawthorne said quickly. Thing is, people all around here talk a big game about putting humanity first, but then it's all Guardians, all the time. Ada nodded. The devotion to Lightbearers can seem fanatical. But you're not like that, Ada. Ada shook her head. I appreciate the sentiments, Soraya, but I'm not sure how that relates to the Forgers. Hawthorne leaned on Ada's desk. I think your voice is important to have around here. I want you to succeed. But you might be holding on to the past too tightly. Ada scoffed. You presume to tell me how to carry on the Armor's legacy? Hawthorne gestured to the forged memorabilia strewn about the hall. Not at all. But your bounders didn't wake up one day with forges on the brain. They started with a problem, then designed a solution as only they could. Ada's turned, her eyes thoughtful. And you're suggesting I'm starting with a solution instead? Limiting my view? I'm saying I'd understand if it was hard to let go of all this when it's all you've ever known. Ada nodded. The idea of leaving the forges behind is admittedly unnerving. I get it, Hawthorne said. But the old methods aren't working. Maybe it's time to carry on your founder's legacy in your own way. Ada was silent for a moment. I should get back to work. Thank you for your advice. She darted her arm out in a stiff handshake gesture. Hawthorne chuckled and clasped her hand around Ada's. Good luck. But maybe try to keep the noise down, okay? It bothers my bird. Ada 1 tapped her foot impatiently while standing in the cryptarium. So can you do it? Rahul looked up lazily from his datapad and scowled. What a ridiculous question. Of course I am. It's a question of when I'll have the time. Ada's head tilted down. I didn't realise we were indulging in semantics. Rahul's response was arid as he tapped away on the device. There is no greater pleasure. Very well. When do you think we'll have the time? Rahul placed a hand on his chin. The influx of data from Europa is significant, on top of the routine Guardian armament support, not to mention the open-ended nature of your query. The cryptop's eyes flitted as he thought through the problem. Conservative guess would be 2 to 3 weeks. Ada groaned. It's absurd. Can't sit around for that long. You must understand, Rahul replied. I make no statements regarding what you should do with your time. Ada gripped the cryptop's desk. Fine. Can I search for it myself? Rahul shook his head. Access to the classified archives is limited to sanctioned Guardians, Tower support staff, or the Vanguard themselves. You are none of those things. Ada scoffed. Don't be ridiculous. I've seen that drifter perusing this data on a weekly basis for his own amusement. There's no way, Rahul stammered and blushed. I assure you, no such breach has occurred. Ada folded her arms as Rahul continued. And even if it had, one crime doesn't excuse another. Ada leaned forward assertively. I guess you'll be of no help then. Rahul shrugged. Not for 2 to 3 weeks at the very least. Ada grunted and stormed off through the cryptarium's towering doors, their colourful display of coloured glass shining on her shoulders, when she heard Rahul loudly call out to her. What were the names again that you were querying against? Henrietta Marin, Yuki Sato, and Helga Rasmussen. Rahul's eyebrows lifted at the final name. You may be in luck. It seems our interests have overlapped. Can't help but think of a different Rasmussen whenever I see that surname. Ada worked to keep pace with her Elixni guide, weaving through the dimly lit and angular maze of the last city's Elixni quarter. The blur of open windows and doors provided brief glimpses into the new guests' lives. Strips of purple fabric filled wash basins. Jars of unknown food clinked against each other as they boiled in oversized pots, while parents softly clacked their mandibles and watched their infants nestled in gently used blankets. In the distance, attendants surrounded a humming servitor. The guide entered a basement-level dwelling. Ada followed as they pushed through a rough cotton curtain and stood in a warm and human room laden with myriad rugs and carpet swatches. The city's ambient glow slipped in through a singular small window, while candles flickered in a pastiche of glass vessels. A series of futons had been arranged in a semicircle in the middle of the room. There a band of Elixni lounged on and against the furniture, all listening to the words of a single speaker seated on the floor. The air flared with guttural clicks and low growls that Ada could make no sense of. She finally understood the performance to be over when the audience dispersed, and her guide led her to sit behind the throne. You're the one asking questions about Europa, are you not? About salvation? The scribe said. Ada frowned. You speak our language remarkably well. I had an unusual upbringing, the Elixni replied. I am Ada. What do you seek, Black Armourer? Ada sat on a futon, keeping a healthy distance from Elixir. I'm searching for information from the Braytech facilities on Europa. And you believe we have this? I know some of your people defected from House Salvation. They may have seen something. Ada nodded. They've seen many things. One of my forebears, a great weaponsmith, worked at the Bray facilities on Europa. But I know only a fraction of what he was doing there. Ah, Ada said. Always about guns. Ada frowned. Your people are no strangers to weaponsmithing. Edo and hailed. True. And now, improbably, both our arsenals stand together in the shadow of the great machine. An alliance that makes it all the more logical for you to help me, Ada said. Ada placed her claws together. I will not help, because I cannot. No mentions have been made of anything related to your armory founder. Ada's gaze dropped to the floor. Ada cocked her head and observed the exo. Such despair. Maybe this is about more than guns after all. Ada paused briefly. I lost something. A part of me. Ada nodded solemnly. Your forges, yes? My whole existence was tied to the armory. To those forges. Without them, I feel. Without purpose? Ada finished the thought. Ada shook her head. This isn't... I'm not sure you could understand. Ada chuckled, a guttural grunt combined with clicking teeth. The history is littered with the banners of lost hope. Most of us have worn one colour, knelt before kell after kell, hoping they would be the last. She leaned closer to Ada. It lets me understand the fluidity of purpose very well. Fluidity implies continuation, Ada replied. She sighed heavily. But it seems my path is coming to an end. Ticks resonated in Ada's jaw. Devil's was a dead house until Aramis made it new. Mithrax was dusk, and now he is light. Paths only end when we stop walking. Ada studied the elixir. This is not the conversation I was expecting. If the settlement is going to work, it's probably best to break from old expectations. Ada nodded and looked at the light softly, radiating through the window. I've taken enough of your time. Thank you, she said, and confidently extended her arm with sincere gratitude. A clawed hand landed softly on her shoulder as the elixir instead thrust a datapad into Ada's outstretched hand. The befuddled exo quickly passed the screen. This is something we found in the Bray archives. It is not what you were looking for, but it may help you decide where to walk next. I'll look into it, I suppose. Good, Ada replied, as Ada stood and slid the datapad under her arm. She hesitated. You sure it's a good idea to give me this? How will it look to your allies, you helping me like this? Ada chittered. It will look like unity. Louis was the first to notice Ada. The bird's head darted in her direction as it shuffled on the post. Hawthorne turned, a brief look of surprise on her face before she grinned. If it isn't the reclusive armourer, Hawthorne said. I was just thinking about checking on you. Ada reached the top of the stairs and marvelled at the expanse of the last city stretching from Hawthorne's vantage point. Was I making too much noise again? Hawthorne shook her head. The opposite. Way too quiet down there. Ada chuckled. Things have been going more smoothly as of late. Glad to hear it, Hawthorne said and nodded. She removed a morsel of meat from the pouch at her waist and tossed towards Louis, who gobbled it voraciously. So what was the answer? Centuries-old research and matter programming, left behind by a megalomaniac, Ada said. Sounds like a trip. Has been. I feel quite changed by the experience, Ada said, a slight lilt to her voice. Change can be good. Ada watched the engine flares weave through the city's expanse. There was one thing from our last conversation that stuck with me. Hawthorne raised an eyebrow. Only one? That's disappointing. You said you weren't sure if I had any friends. Ada, I didn't mean to. If I'm being honest, social connection has never been my strong. I know that it can be scary to put yourself out there, especially with everything you've been through, Hawthorne said. Ada considered her love. Can be, but I'm finding walking this new journey to be a little less daunting when I'm willing to walk it with others. Sounds like a pretty good lesson, Hawthorne said with a smirk. Ada let her gaze wander over the constellation of architecture, gleaming in the last city, the meandering grid of roadways and the rolling landscape beyond. She breathed in deeply, letting the air fill her chassis. I should probably get back down there. I have a lot of work ahead of me, she said, clearing her throat. Hawthorne clasped her hand on her shoulder, startling the exo. Don't be a stranger, Ada. You come up from the cave more often, you might have more friends than you think. That's not actually what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was buy this. I'm pretty certain I have everything else, so. Director Lakshmi too. Enough's enough. I know what you're using, and I'll be speaking with the Vanguard. The fact that you think you can interpret what has driven dozens to insanity doesn't give me a good deal of confidence in your decision-making abilities, and I can't keep my concerns internal any longer. We don't need another Cinderesh in the upper ranks. I don't care if you saw the Red Wall before it happened. What would you say of the several other unfruitful predictions you conveniently ignore now? I've listened to your speeches and read your many messages calling for support. I understand you believe the future is at stake and we're supposed to do something about it. Fear over the fallen is not the future this organisation was meant to combat. Your paranoia won't change my mind. My children were harassed in the streets today for daring to bring food to the Elixir Quarter. They came home in tears, and I wonder how long until it becomes worse. I won't be a part of spreading that fear. I won't participate in splitting the city and turning it against itself. I'm well aware of the dangers posed by fallen houses, but the city reigns strong because we stand together. You're a student of history. You know how the Iron Lords converted warlords into dutiful servants of the light. Lord Shaxx alone should speak to the value of that effort. If a fallen house wants to stand with us against their own, just like the warlords of old, just like the fallen in the Reef did, who are you to tell them no? Armies we can keep out. The Guardians will hold the wall. The danger is nowhere close to death from within, close to the death from within that you are stoking. If it all falls apart, just remember, Mithrax didn't fire the first shot. You did. Consider this my resignation. Navarro. Oh. That's harsh but good.
Take it easy.
Let's actually, like, go, do the thing. Oh, I enjoy the ice cold soda that I just got from the vending machine because I am very tired, as per usual. Why won't my slacking monitor turn back on? Why does it hate me? It always seems to be worse when I'm streaming for some reason. Why? I really need to, like, take a look at it, but I'm scared that it will cost money. So I'm putting it off. Because that's a sensible thing to do, right? Lips around shifting. Do I have anything in the mailbox? No. Whoops. Any messages? Not yet.
Guardian, I greet you in the light. We should learn from your example.
Don't know why that line wasn't
We
voiced.
struggle to make a home under this endless night. Supplies spoil more quickly. The air leeches life from all we have. I have never seen corruption like this. It is unknown to me. When you are ready, I will guide you to where the Vex are most vulnerable. They are difficult to predict. They do not behave as they should. I think they guard powerful secrets. Tighten your gauntlet, and let us take them.
Mithrax is pleased to see you return to continue the fight. He hopes his people will learn from your resilience, as adjusting to life in the city has been difficult for them. He has never seen anything like this endless night. It is as though the air leeches life from everything in the city. The people of the city are under immense stress, and he says he suspects a simulation is somehow draining them as well. The Vex guard powerful secrets, he says. Tighten your gauntlet and let us take them. One more. Okay. By defeating opponents in strikes, gambit, crucible, and weekly events. In that case, let us head to Europa because the bounties. Do a public event. That should get me there. Let me have a look. So, in bank. Ranged. Right. Playlist channel. Sweet, awesome. Override effects anywhere. Override fit competence with auto rifles, mid-range calibration, stuff on the moon. I'm trying to work out what stuff that I can like double up on. I think it may just be Gambit at the moment. Okay. Do that later, possibly. A good name. Oh, and Sir Nicholas, as you do. Right.
Let barracks help.
Okay, well, not really is the answer, but go find a public event. Come on. Vex with void damage, okay. It was a public event, where would I be hiding? Not bloody heroes, where? Cool. Use the ether contained in the Splicer. There we go, this one. Craft a key code. Then override. Oh, yes, no, that's why I hit N. Have you got? I was not paying attention. Barrier and unstoppable. Hangouts. Cool. Right, that's good. I can sort these guys out. I listened to a lot of Fall Out Boy recently, so that's today's band that I will be singing to myself as we load into places. I apologise as well for the yawns, like I said. I am the tired, even with the soap. I know I've mentioned this before, I have raid on Sunday, so I wake up very early on Sunday. The problem is I'm not very good at getting to sleep early on Saturday, so I think I got to bed at around 2 yesterday, and I dozed for at least 4 hours, if not more than that, and then woke up at 8 o'clock. So I got between 4 and 6 hours sleep. Like 6 at the very most for our average, so doing great. Raiding, and we're like, I'd say 2/3 of the way through a raid that we're currently practicing. And we were going through, and I just abruptly realised that I could not concentrate, and I'm like, yeah, this is my last ball, guys. I'm out of it.
Within the Vex network lies the secret to their portal technology. We could do great things with such power.
Just in case you were wondering.
Of data. Feed it into the terminal to crash the system.
Well, let someone else worry about that, because I don't know what that means.
Attempt to lock out the terminal. Destroy countermeasures to keep it operating.
This is where I'm like awkwardly quiet because I'm paying attention.
Attempts to re-encrypt, disrupt the passcode sequence, and continue the splice.
Astro Bag drawing is a good name. Ah, nice. So, I have accidentally an achievement.
Be ready for anything.
Ah, heavy ammo. I'm being awkward and quiet, but it is because I'm concentrating. Especially trying to get used to using the auto rifle.
The Splicer tech must work, because the Vex are converging to shut it down.
Sorry for
Disrupt the
that.
passcode to keep the Splice alive. The Vex security cycles. Each circuit grows more desperate.
Where is this champion? Ah, there he is. Oh, I'm going to die? Yep. I apologise for the screen flickering there. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Life is more exciting than I thought. It uses a delightful number of grenades.
It does. Mochibot, don't be dead. I may have to refresh Mochibot. Mochibot may be dead.
I can feel the Vex spine stirring. It is aware of your presence. Prepare for its violence. This is their last attempt to lock you out. The vortex is almost open. This must be the vortex. Enter before it closes. Vex network makes me wonder if we can't tell the difference between reality and simulation. How do I know what's real? Oh, it hurts my head.
Bye forever. Oh, don't start me back here.
Nothing can save these machines from your light. Destroy them!
that didn't happen. That, like, ice laser is very good, it has to be said. I do think Mochibot is dead. That's okay. Fix Mochibot after this. Level up 2. What am I... Okay, I don't know what happened there. I just, like, got stuck and went backwards. Weird. Nice.
You have manipulated Vex data as you would the light. This is the power of the sacred Splicer. You did well, but never forget, you're a guardian first. Your power is a gift from the Traveler, not the Fallen.
I think, speaks truth, all hail the Great Machine. Okay, I'm gonna sit here for a second while I... Okay, good. Good news. Mochibot is not dead. I'm an idiot. What? What are we doing with this? Pretty close. But override. Taking more time, but c'est la vie. So, yeah. Because of the fact that we saw champions there, my brain is now champion. The FOB song is where my brain is at. Wait, do I have the thingies?
We have already surrendered too much. Now they want more. Feed, cloth, medicine.
people in the city need these things.
We ask for no more than you can give.
This endless night, it drains us. Our resources are spread too thin. What you give to them, you take from the mouths of our citizens.
All right. That's enough. Ikoro was firm. I am to provide for the Elixni as if they were our own people.
Our own people. Lakshmi was right. You are too political an animal, Osiris.
The House of Light. We wish to destroy the Vex. To aid the Guardian. Same as you, yes?
Do not start with this. Tell me, Mithrax, were I in one of your cities, would you bow to all of my demands?
We would give you anything you asked for.
Because you are so generous?
Because we would wish to live.
I see. You are fighting for your people as I would fight for mine, yes? It is true. Split the supplies as Ikora says. Anything to make this false night pass more quickly.
Interesting.
Still worried.
People of the last city. Commander Zavala and I have been touched by the generosity and kindness you've shown toward our new Elixni neighbors. We also understand the reluctance some have shown toward their resettlement. To those who mistrust our arrangement, let me remind you that this very city was founded by refugees. We sought shelter not only from alien aggressors, but from other humans. The bandits and warlords that profited from our suffering. So it is with the Elixni. For the first time in our shared history, we need the Elixni, and they need us. Together with Mithrax and his sacred Splicers, we can end the endless night. But only if we stand united for the betterment of all.
I am genuinely and really looking forward to seeing how this shakes out.
Guardian. Earlier, I could not speak openly to Osiris, to the Saint. I wanted to shout. Have you been beneath the Great Machine so long that you cannot survive without its bounty? But fear stopped my words. Yes, my Elixni are here, warm, safe, inside high walls. But this endless night, it is like a weapon. It attacks the heart. An invisible foe sieges your people, so they look desperately for an enemy. And after so long with nothing, my people finally have something to lose. Please, Guardian, seize more data from the Vex and let us shatter this foul night. For the sake of all.
Mithrax confides in you that his earlier disagreement with Saint 14 and Osiris weighs on him heavily. He tells you he's afraid. After fleeing with his people for so long, the thought of losing the safety of the city wounds him. He feels as though the strange pressures of the endless night are bearing down on the city. He speculates this may be a weapon meant to turn the city against itself, or turn the city against those in his house. He asks you to bring Vex data once again. He believes a breakthrough is within reach. Yeah. Wait. Right. Let us run a couple more overrides. Except... So instead then, let us run some Gambit to get and also B. Like doesn't feel like I'm pretty certain there is something. Can't see anything, so oh Jesus Christ, my legs hurt. If I the review was stronger, but there is nothing here and I have no fear of nothing. The Splicer saw herself in 100 places at once and chose her favourite. Peel back the layers of hesitance to yield the fruit of honk. I don't know how on earth someone's supposed to see through that, but there we go. This looks cool and it is just not my... Me, the wild big ball. Tail. The pipes are silent. Ether production is paused during batch loading, and in the interstitial time, Spider's life feels like a tomb. Every creak and groan of his throne becomes excruciatingly prolonged. Spider reclines against one arm, rolling a Deco shell in one hand, scraping a clawed finger over its grey, lifeless eye. The arrival of a trusted associate pulls Spider from his thoughts. Avrock, Spider bellows, turning his attention to the armed Elixir striding through the doorway. What did you find? Avrock approaches Spider's throne, wringing his hands together anxiously. Spider leans forward, with the groan of the cable suspending his throne. And what did you do to them? He asks in greedy anticipation. That, however, is where Avrock falters. I did not catch them, my lord. Avrock humbly answers, his much smaller flame eclipsed in Spider's shadow. But I have a name. Out with it, Spider grasps, falling back against the throne with deflated interest. The Crow. Spider's blood turns to fire. His grip tightens on that dead ghost so hard it shell cracks. Spider continues squeezing it until the glass eye completely pops. Then he takes a moment to compose himself. A little bird come home to nest so soon? Tell me everything. He was able to infiltrate a storehouse, Avrock explained, and coerced a team of labourers to offload cargo promised to the Empress onto a skiff, which he then stole, along with the cache of your more personal belongings, among which was the quantum opal. Avrock shrinks lower. The supplies were delivered to Mithril, in your name, as a gift. And the workers? Spider growls. They're gone? Avrock doesn't mean to make it a question, and regrets taking the tone immediately. To where exactly? Avrock takes a small step back from Spider's throne. Left. clenches his jaw with the crow. Spider slowly leans forward again. For Earth, for complete. The ether pipes begin to hum and rattle as a new batch begins production, elsewhere in the complex. The noises rise in intensity, turning into the familiar hissing wail that joins with the uncomfortable sound of Spider, laughing. The Baron of the Shore throws his dead ghost to Avrok, who ducks away from it, covering his head with his hand. He's taking them to Mithrax, Spider says, between fitful chuckles and music. He steals from me and gives it to the House of Light. Unbelievable. Though behind their laughter and coughs there's a hint of appreciation in his tone. Kid's grown a spine. There is... Avrok starts, offering Spider a folded piece of paper. One more thing. He left this behind. Spider's seal is scribbled on one side. For you. As Spider unfolds the note, Avrok creeps further away from the front. Inside is nothing more than a crude drawing and a rude missive. That little the pipes are howling. So incredible. The Alexei awkwardly shouldered its way onto the empty stool at the ramen shop and rested its 4 elbows on the bar. Marsh looked over the huge pot of broth and, thinking a tightened one of the ridiculous helmets had arrived for lunch, called out Irsamase. It wasn't until he absently stepped to the bar that he realised who his customer was. Metal plating covered the creature's forehead and the side of its face. I love the way these guns look, as an aside. On the side of its face, ending in a nozzle that hissed in a stream of bluish mist. A haphazard collision of heavy canvas metallic weave dropped over its shoulders. A Vanguard lanyard dangled absurdly from its... It was small for an Elixir, but its angular head still towered above Morris as it hunched over the bar. 4 blue eyes looked back at him from above lipless mouth. It opened, revealing rows of thin sharp teeth. 1 item, ramen soup, the Elixir croaked guiltily. Please. Morris held his breath, tightened his grip on his pencil and grinned. He grinned when he was nervous, and this seemed as good a time as any. The Elixir grinned back, nodded, and then opened its horrible mouth again. I smelled it. And the smell was good. Morris scanned the bar. His other customers sat frozen, the bowls of ramen steaming silently in front of them. He realised his mouth had apparently decided to talk on its own, as if nothing were wrong. He heard himself ask, how spicy? 0 to 5 stars. The Elixir had anticipated. Spicy 5 stars, said, holding up one hand with 3 claws splayed and another with 3. May I receive additional dead flesh, please? You got it. Morris said, his even voice betraying none of his tension, and he turned back to the bubbling pot of broth. Muscle memory took over, and he soon found himself placing a steaming bowl of ramen in front of the creature, who clucked cheerfully. Morris took a half step back. A small crowd was forming in the walkway in front of the restaurant. Some of the customers leaned in as their curiosity overcame the terror. Morris noted the woman in seat 2 needed more water, but it could wait. The Elixir raised its arm tentatively, then looked to Morris again. What is the protocol? Morris found himself unsure which pair of the Elixir's eyes to look into and focused on the ramen instead. We eat the noodles and pork and egg with... Egg, repeated the Elixir, enjoying the unfamiliar word. Yeah, egg. You eat all that with chopsticks and you get the broth with a spoon. Morris saw how the Elixir's claws dwarfed the ceramic spoon. Or you can just lift the whole bowl and drink it. Morris smiled, lifting a bowl to his lip. The Elixir nodded. Its claws tapped the metal on its face, and hissing blue misties. The Elixir held the chopsticks, tested their weight, and reflectively placed them back on the bar before bringing the bowl to its mouth with its upper arms. Above the ramen bowl, Morris saw all 4 of the Elixir's eyes close. A long moment of tension fell over the shop. Silence broken only by a staccato series of hissing slurps. Finally, the Elixir lowered the empty bowl. It breathed in as the blue mist resumed its thin spray. It looked toward Morris. I tasted all of it, it said with deep satisfaction. I'm very thankful. Morris's grin turned into a tentative smile. Glad you enjoyed it. The Elixir stood and held out what looked like a small model of the Traveller. It glowed as it floated in the Elixir's pocket. Compensation, it said. Morris reached to take the treasure, then drew his hand back. For new customers, there's no charge, he said. No compensation. Thank you for coming in. The Elixir cocked its head, then clucked, and the model vanished beneath the folds of its cloak. It smiled. You, then cleared its throat with a rumble. You are a... And the 5 spirited words that followed were replete with hard consonants. In the confused silence that followed, the Elixir nodded graciously, then walked through the crowd outside and deeper into the city. Believe in you. kind of prefer how this gun looks. Oh, that's a lie. Do I have an email? It's because silence rated. That's why. With the metal crate they were carrying likely weighed more than they did, the two Elixni gave Saint 14 a wide berth on the way to the Elixni Quarter. You see how they distrust, Saint grumbled. Amanda Holliday scanned the crate into a datapad. The unexpected shipment of emergency supplies from Tangled Shore nearly offloaded. Don't be such a sourpuss, she said lightly. Mixing with new folks, good for the soul. I mix, objected Saint, but the Fallen, they do not enjoy my company, and I feel the same for them. Maybe that's why Agora picked you for this, Amanda said. Though Saint was fully helmeted, she could swear you well desired. Two more Elixni came... got distracted. Two more Elixni came bearing another crate. One noticed Saint too late and stumbled, dropping the crate. Its security locks popped as it crashed to the ground. A young Elixni wearing House of Light colours and a bright orange and blue lanyard scampered over in distress. Saint sighed. It is fine, he said to the Elixni. Spider probably sends more surplus from Old House of Dusk. Knowing you carry supplies from our enemies is a great joke to them. He dragged the crate out of the walkway with one hand and knelt to repair the locks. As Amanda scanned the damaged crate, the young Elixni came closer. He eyed Saint warily, then held up a sheet of paper like a shield. I keep getting distracted because I'm like reading out loud, but then I'm reading ahead to myself in the lore, which is a bad idea. Thank you, Amanda said with an unforced brightness. She tapped her datapad. I've got it digitally. You got it digitally, said the Elixni. He fidgeted for a moment, then temporarily held up the badge on his lanyard, which read temporary. Authorization for unloading of supplies from Tangled Shore. A supply sent from Spider, he said. He leaned in slowly, looking carefully at Saint and Amanda. My gentlemen, he added slyly. Amanda snorted so abruptly that Saint fumbled with a lock, crushing it in his hand. Saint looked up. Can you two not be quiet? Come on now, Amanda admonished Saint lightly. I don't hear you practicing your Elixni, and this fella's doing his best to bridge the gap. That ain't exactly right. But you speak our language. Pretty well, she said. Thank you, answered the Elixni, clearly eager for conversation. Do all humans here Spider Cal? Serve Spider, Amanda spat. Spider's nothing but a... And the five-spirited words that followed were replete with hard consonants. The Elixni rose, wary of her tone while not understanding her work. Amanda caught herself and took a breath. Which is our way of saying he's a kind and generous individual, she said to the Elixni, who nodded along with her. This lock has been ruined by distraction, Saint said, as he rose to his feet. He removed the lid and looked inside, then lifted a loose coil of rubbery tube. Servitor plugs, filters, ether circulators. Titan made a confused noise. Something wrong? Amanda. Not at all, mumbled Saint as he picked up a small golden cylinder trailing braided sapphire cord. This rebreather alone is worth more than my share. Amanda moved forward towards Saint and looked for herself. She recognized a few necessary survival items. Condensed prefab, ceramic plating, vapor distillers, generator couplings, but among the tubes and filters were otherworldly treasures. An nanomesh sphere spilled with think pick liquid, a chrome conduit splittered with entropic plating, a glimmering opal sparkling in a nest of delicate lavender sponges. The hell is Spider playing at? Amanda said to herself. She called out to the Elixni. Are they all like this? Yes, each one is very full of delights from our culture, from our home. We are very thanks. He cocked his credit and clicked. Thankful? Amanda nodded. Let me see that manifest, she said, taking the papers from Elixni. He's nodded and rejoined the other workers. They will still need many of our resources to stay here, Saint said as he carefully resealed the crate. But this will make things easier. I'm surprised he's so generous, even to his own people. Amanda frowned at the manifest. This doesn't make sense, she said. There's a note at the top. Don't know what half the stuff is, but it's got to be good if Spider had it. It's all written by hand, and there aren't values for anything here. Saint looked at the papers from Amanda's storehouse. Saint looked at the papers over Amanda's shoulder. Crates came from Spider's storehouse, he said. If he did not send them, who did? Look at this listing, Amanda continued. This item says best osmosis filters, hidden in his bottom drawer. This item is just a row of question marks. Here's one listed as a clock thing. This line says, noisy cube, smells bad but everybody likes it. What's with the signature? Amanda squinted at the shape scrawled at the bottom of the form. It's a ship, she guessed, handing the paper to Saint. The Titan turned his head as he looked at the drawing. Aha, he cried, slapping the paper with the back of his hand. Look, his bird. Amanda, looked at the uneven charcoal lines and could just make out a wobbly black bird. She let out a long breath and shook her head. Awful artist, she said, but I guess he's an alright guy. Suddenly, she was smiling. I'm like struggling to read this because I'm giggling to myself too much, which is bad. It's good though. Okay, well, I really ought to write this. We just knocked off this. Jenna's tail. Nice. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, it doesn't suit my outfit, but it is pretty. Right, should we actually, like, do something? Do something sensible? And by sensible, I mean going to go play a couple of rounds of Gambit in order to work on this. Stick them layout. Run a couple of rounds of Gambit to stock up on code.
Hey, look alive, hotshot.
I'm trying. Notes, the Guardians, avoidability, stasis.
Careful with that.
Soon you will be mine, but
See you on your road, brother.
So that is complete Gambit matches. This is banking notes and different Guardians.
Go throw some tape at your friends.
That's the plan. Let's go. Start from scratch and run some Gambit. Back as an time. After actually, I said I was going to do. Right, here's a plan. Going to run Gambit, stock up on code bits or whatever they're called. Then we will run a couple more overloads, and if I have time after that, I'm going to just pick a challenge and work at it. I'm probably just gonna, you know, like, words are so difficult, like, so this I have to do an override, but, well, and this, but so for example, I could, I'll start with that, and then I might, like, thing is, I can do these two at the same time. I'll do that. Gambit, get up code, run a couple of override missions, and then yeah, I wanted to check something. Oh, it's just decrypt engrams. It's not. I don't have to. If I just have to decrypt them, then I can save all my stuff on for.
Ready to see what you're fighting today? Scorn approaching.
You hate to see it.
It's time to bang knuckles. The Scorn are full of corrupt ether. I like their style, but
Savory
they can't be
cornbread.
controlled. Hold on to your... Get ready for a firefight, brother, and drop those motes in the bank.
I'm glad that we can still.
Incoming hostiles at the rig. You just dropped a taken on the other side. Hope you're proud. I am.
Brilliant. I love to waste my super accidentally.
Hostiles incoming at the burrow.
Ah, fuck.
Portal's
No.
ready. Go say hello. Allies
just-
headed to the other side.
Want to get 2 more.
High value target is on the field. Hunt it down. Put some rounds in it. Your invaders down, but they scored a kill.
Nice. I would like maybe just like one a thing to put a medium blocker on.
Invader on
Never
the
mind.
field. Careful.
Pulse of it, and it doesn't
Small
matter
block
when it kills me.
out. Enemy invader down.
Nice.
Free to hunt. Portals prime. Go make a mess. Your allies invading. Hostiles incoming at command. Your allies defeated. Bringing them back.
F.
Most draining. The blockers must die, brother.
Super's up, so I may as well, you know.
Vader inbound. Hunt.
What did the
High value targets making a break for it. Cut them off. High value target got away.
shit? Oh, I was so close.
invaders gone.
At least I wasn't
Get 'em
killed by
next
savoury cornbread, you know? Could have been worse.
Hostiles incoming at the burrow.
I'm going to deposit my stuff.
Load's draining. The blockers must die, brother. Portal's ready. Go say hello. Allies headed to the other side. Bank and you'll summon a primeval. You wanna win? That's how.
Come on, dude. Stop fucking about. This bank, please.
Primeval's up. Kill it to win. Your invader's back with 2 kills in the victim. Invaders here. Brace yourself. Envoys terminated. Now, bring the house down.
What the fuck's this? Invader.
Enemy invader down.
Nice.
Freedom.
Ah. Hi, Eris. Thank you very much for the resub. It is very much appreciated. I hope you are doing well. I cannot believe it has been 6 months. How wild.
Opposing team has a primeval. You gotta finish first. Invaders here. Brace yourself.
I hope you're having a good. I am trying my hardest not to die.
Your allies down, but they secured 2 kills. Decent work. Enemy
I'm
invader is
coming.
down. You can breathe.
Nice. Oh, I didn't even notice that all of our opponents were,
That primeval's nearly dead. That primeval's
Same.
not long for this world.
Same.
Burn it down. Take this gamble.
my KD ratio was not great today. Yeah, gosh, I can imagine. Oof. It's, I can only imagine how much of a nightmare it was before.
You fight like that every day? I don't ever want to see you go to war. There'd be no one left.
My beautiful new CPU, or possibly motherboard. I think it's probably the CPU, but... I got something. Okay, 80 out of 150. How... Okay, so I need to run 5 matches. Well, I need to run 3 matches in order to get the weekly challenge. I may do the extra 2, depending on how I'm feeling. Oops, that one to go here. Avoid elemental well. Not much of these elemental well things. Anyway, how are you, Eris? How are you doing? Hope you are having a good day. I hope your weekend's been good, so the week will be quiet. Nice. 2 weeks left of term, 2.5 weeks left until everything that all of my submissions are due for the quarter, and then I'm free. And I'm just like looking forward to that so hard. the Friday. So I have 2 weeks left of quarter, then everything, all of my fun projects and papers and stuff are due on Wednesday, and then that Friday I'm getting my next tattoo. I don't know if you can see this because my monitor's not working, but I'm getting this one upgraded.
Hi! Bring a sword. Time for a gunfight. The Hive are hungry, brother. Don't let them touch you. And bring a sponge just in case.
You got it.
Get ready for transmat. Give me those motes and I'll make you rich, brother. I promise.
Have I mentioned, like, at some point in the last 5 minutes how much I love Gambit?
Hostiles incoming at the depot.
Oh yes, I'm 3 more. Now I will go look this guy up. Nope.
Hostiles incoming at the cabin.
You'll go fuck this guy up.
That should keep your enemy busy. Let's see more motes. Portals
4 of them,
Go
jeez.
make a mess. Portals ready.
Well, listen, I'm not very good at it, and I also don't have a sniper rifle equipped, so... Ow!
High-value target is on the field. Hunt it down. Get some rounds. Watch your back. Invader incoming. High-value target destroyed.
Nice. Sorry, I'm being awkward and quiet because, concentrating.
Invaders off the field.
Ow.
Your allies invading the other side.
Someone's making dinner and it smells so nice.
Incoming at the gulch.
Grab this.
Your allies down, but they scored a kill.
Nice. Good amount of mix.
Portal's ready. Go say hello. Hostiles incoming at the cabin. You're nearly there. Fill the bank. Get that primeval up.
Got it. Oh, and my supers are just in time.
Primeval's up. Burn the envoys first.
Swap to machine gun in a moment.
Envoy's dead. Kill the primeval.
Nice. And machine gun, there we go.
Invader incoming.
killed me and not the enemy. Invade or rather, I know how words work.
Invaders off the field.
These things are so gross. Just by the way, the chicken servitors extremely gross. Not what I intended to do. Look at me, way at the bottom there. Where I belong. Wink. Got this. We can...
Opposing team's about to win. The enemy team's about to win this. Get moving.
Never fucking mind.
Enemy invader down. You can relax. Opposing team's about to win. The enemy team's about to win this. Get moving. Fight's over. Opposing team killed their prime evil.
Extremely rude. I'm really done with this at least, so. That was not my game, but hey, it's fine. Everything's fine. Please do what I ask you to. Phone. Check. Okay, cool. It is working. Oops, I did not mean to alt tab. I need to... What it is if I put Destiny... I think it is if I put Destiny in borderless windowed mode, which is what I prefer to play games in anyway, it means that I can like alt-tab, say it, click over to something like in my browser on my second monitor when it's working, without it causing problems in Destiny. But... It then means when I alt-tab, I don't get any sound, which is kind of weird. They've got bright dust for this one that it's not letting me see. Goodness, I fixed it. Ah shit, I didn't mean to do that. Did not mean to hop out of the Gambit queue. Whoops. Just trying to work out that if I say alt. Good, it does work. Ignore everything I said. It was me who'd somehow accidentally hit muted when not focused, like a fool. Okay, so I get a fifth for wins and 30. $13, 26, 30, 52, 65, 70. By the way, I get 20% for wins and 13% for losses, so I just need to keep winning, that's what I need to do. No. I'm really hoping that this time round they will back count your Gambit and Crucible ranking achievements. I'm really annoyed because
Cabal on the field.
last season, when the challenge to do Gambit rankings came out,
Used to be all bluster and noise. Red Legion changed that. Get ready to drop.
but
Kill the hostiles. Grab the moats. Drop them in the bank.
what are they?
Hostiles inbound at the beach.
Whenever I was saying it's long gone, so
Sending small blocker.
ah, I see. Whoops. I'm yelling.
Incoming wave at the ruins.
Now I know how to use my gun. Looks around shiftily.
Portal's ready. Grab your gun. Your allies invading. Your friend's down. They're coming back to your side. Half pint taken, headed to the other side. High value target identified. Get him!
Nice. Oh yeah, high value target.
Hostiles at the trees.
I see him, right. Gonna take this guy out.
High value target destroyed. Medium blocker outbound. Portals up. Go take them out. Allies invading the other side.
Ow. Come on, come back.
Complete moats, brother. Whack the blockers. Your allies down, but they secured 2 kills. Decent work. Invaders here. Brace yourself.
Fuck. Please, somebody help kill the blocker. Yeah. There we go.
inbound at the beach. Hey, you're losing moats. Ice the block. Invader incoming.
No.
Enemy invader down.
Thanks for the
Nice.
revenge. Ugh.
Your enemy called up a primeval. They kill it. They win this. Portals up. Go look them in the eyes. Allies headed to the other side. Incoming wave at the ruins.
Ow. Nice. Powerful command. Dead.
Your
Would love to
allies
see
dead.
it.
Sending them back.
That was the first one I was going to work on after this, so...
You just hit the other side with a medium blocker. That'll keep them busy. Portals up. Go take them out. Your allies invading. Your invader's dead. Sending them back. You're nearly there. Fill the bank. Get that primeval up. I got a call. Enemy team melted their primeval.
Oh well. Got the rank up. Got one of those done. Most importantly, got the Q code. Those pretty right quests. Yes, okay. I can do all that later. Override. Yeah. That. Okay. Like a burn pit. Embers cracking. Yes. Slide on that I already have, but that's okay. I prefer what I've got at the moment. So, what are we doing next? We are getting back to here. To go up. Upgrade that. Doing this quest. Sorry. Just shuffling over to wheelie desk chair on a hey buddy. Wheelie desk chair on a hey. These are red jacks, I did not mean to go there. Desk chair with wheels uncarpeted floor. It's not the best idea, but it's what we've got. I love that they're so intrigued with that. I know everyone and their mother has said it, but it's pretty cute.
Welcome. In me. Hello again.
Ada admires your newly minted sympathy as you approach. I must admit, it was a little unnerving to watch someone else operate the loom. I put quite a lot of effort into creating this, and I'm feeling a bit protective. She clears her throat and fixes her posture. That being said, it clearly worked as intended. I've gathered data from your production shop. With enough information, I may be able to amend this technology towards some other purpose in the future. To that end, let's start gathering more synth strands for another run. Gather enough synth strand to purchase another threader bounty. Synth strand drops from defeating opponents anywhere in the system.
See you next time, perhaps.
Okay. My brain is like. Have enough for such an idiot. I should have done that. This needs me to do one more, but it also needs me to deposit more data spikes. This bunch of side arm. We'll run 2 more for the weekly challenge. And then I think I'll go. Okay. So this is override, collect ether, override. Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to run 2 more of these, see where we are in terms of challenges. If we're pretty close, I'll run another one for data spikes. And then we'll head off to Europa. Sounds like a plan to me.
Following a fallen into battle makes my trigger finger itch. Watch your back, Guardian.
Sorry. Sorry about. I'm going to. No, I'm going to keep my sidearm actually. Yeah, I have sidearm kills that I need to get. Oh, hi, gross. Deposit these.
The network entrance is vulnerable. Feed data into the terminal to overload the Vex defenses.
Vex actually. That one. Champion bounced. I don't remember how to get unstoppable rounds, so.
Forces rally. If they regain the terminal, our incursion will fail. Repel their assault. The network attempts to re-encrypt, disrupt the passcode sequence, and continue the splice.
I don't know what I'm doing, so.
Prepare for another assault. The Vex will endure as many casualties as necessary to keep the vortex closed.
I remember how to do unstoppable rounds.
A sacred splicer must feel the Vex as you feel the light. I sense a hidden doorway nearby. Enter and secure the data.
Ow. Big Data, good name. I wonder if I could get it set up to have both the freezing shots and the unstoppable rounds at the same time. That'd be neat if I could.
Judging by the Vex response, your fancy Splicer glove is working. Get at it.
Oops, I didn't mean to put my
The network repairs like a body healing a cut. Disrupt the passcode to keep the splice security cycles. Each circuit grows more desperate.
Champion over here. So there we go. Time it is. Time for running and yelling.
Then you can jump into the Vex brain space.
Be on fire. Ow. I want to check what is this. Complete competence with finishes. Okay.
I don't know about the Vex network, but I know an attack coming when I see one. Hold your ground.
Definitely misheard that as hold your crones. Like, I mean, if you ask politely.
Is almost manifest. The subjugated mind will soon be revealed.
Okay, these guys are on fire already. Dead.
Enter before it closes.
Ew.
Vex network opens before you. Beware. The path to its center has many countermeasures. Pacify them to reach your goal.
You got it. It's a meme that's like that section is like, yay, slide, and then woof. That's scary.
Crush their last defense to complete the splice. We have other networks to collapse.
It's open now. Whoops, did not see that. Come on, up, get. Got it sick. Music here is so good. Override the moon.
The Guardian must make more incursions on the Vex network. I can guide, but cannot follow.
Sending others into danger from a position of safety. This is fallen leadership.
Elixni do not have lives to spare. We use wits.
Rich of Saint to say as we do the hard work, huh? %, okay. Do one more off the 3 of 10. Cool. I wonder what Oops, oh, I forgot that I was not back in the queue. Google. Fortunus is the Roman god, protector of harbours, also called Palemon. Another Destiny name. That person, the person like directly to the right of us, with a bright blue ship, they have good taste in shaders. if I hadn't decided abruptly, like at the end of the start of this season, to go dark and or constellation theme for everything, that's where my shaders would have looked like.
Accessing the Vex network is a long-time goal of the future war cult. Created for us and for humanity.
Every time Lakshmi speaks, I get angry. I don't like her. I'm just gonna say. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm not a fan of hers. I hide again. Was wholly accidental, but I'll take it.
The network entrance is vulnerable. Feed data into the terminal to overload the Vex defenses.
Puggy called Yikes. It's a good name. Yeah, right. That's not the latest email, but there we go.
Vex are inbound on your position. Hold your ground and guard the connection.
Big boy around here somewhere.
The Vex network is revealed in layers. Override the passcode to gain deeper access. Vex won't give up so easily. They're recalibrating their defenses. Be ready for anything.
You got it. No! Not a mortal enemy.
Vex defenses have been reset, but like circuits, they can be overloaded. Continue the assault.
Here, Shrieker over there. It's champion.
Judging by the Vex response, your fancy Splicer glove is working. Keep at it.
I love the fact that you could ostensibly, like,
Do not let the machine spawn divert your attention. Keep it fixed on the terminal.
I can practically hear the Vex gears grinding. They cannot stop, but they will still try. We need one more batch of data. Then you can jump into the Vex brain space.
Explode over there, not here. Ow. I'd even lift my healing thing up. That's rude. Let's just do this. Hold it back up, hopefully.
I can feel the Vex mind stirring. It is aware of your presence. Prepare for its violence.
I hate those shriekers. They are very obnoxious. Where am I at in terms of this? One more to hit with my finisher. We're done. Sick.
Meatfrack says the vortex is almost ready. I don't know what that means, but the Vex want to stop you, so it must be good.
Sure is.
The path to the Vexnet is revealed. Into the vortex.
It's even more magnificent than in my visions. The data you secure here will fuel research for decades to come.
Ow! I didn't even land that hard, I just splat.
Now you see the subjugated mind. Keeper of this domain. Destroy it to secure the data.
I'm going to pop back my sword. Nice. How's this not working? Maybe it's here. Sick. Super that for next time. Big boy, there's big boy.
Excellent work. The Guardian's performance has provided me with a wealth of information.
Still plotting, are we?
Pardon?
You were always trying to look 10 steps ahead. I suppose that's why you and the speaker used to butt heads.
Ah, yes. Well, forewarned is forearmed. But I don't need to tell you that, do I?
I learned from the best.
So let's do one more. Also because I've got the ether for it, so okay. Sounds to me. New visions, braided futures, brilliantly. Visa. Oh, this one, yeah. Open director. Not going to get distracted. We are going to do one more run of Override. Because we've got the stuff for it. He heads up and then snapped awake. There it was again, the skittering of clawed feet above him. In a moment he had grabbed the pulse rifle from near the door and was outside. He saw nothing but the lip of the tar paper roof against the undulating night sky. That didn't mean anything. They could turn invisible. Everyone knew that. They could just be standing there, 1 or 2 or a dozen, staring down at him. He looked for shimmering outlines, but his vision was sealed by the swaying grid of the dark purple night. He squinted as the ripple rolled overhead, and the grid seemed to move closer, like an enormous sheet settling over the city. A wave of pressure pushed down, building in his sinuses. He pressed a hand to his eyes. A deep thrum filled his head, and he heard their claws and walls all around him. Hissing laughter. He turned towards the street, weapon raised. We'll read the rest of that after this.
I can help you exploit an entrance into the Vex network.
Hope we get
Once inside, you must find your own way.
a playlist of this at some point. That'd be funky. I kind of want to do that at some point, just to like see what happens, but also like new things are scary. not what I intended to happen. Us. Oh.
The Vex network is revealed in layers. Override the passcode to gain deeper access.
Prepare for another assault. The Vex will endure as many casualties as necessary to keep the vortex closed.
It's not a, That was, taking a deep breath sigh. Sick. Love to see it. Sneaker is a very good name. I keep thinking about, like, you know, like somebody who
Vex and bring back their data. Do
sneaks
not worry
bookings.
yourself over the bodies. They feel no pain.
Never mind. Let's not do that and leave it to the professionals. Right, to get out of here, please. Pretend that I didn't fuck that up really badly, please. Let's get
Have feared Guardian ferocity for centuries. Turn your fury on the Vex.
I intend to, worry not.
They're trying to fix their broken code. Deal with the Vex, but keep one eye on the terminal.
Wish it would be, well, I suppose it's going to be Hive because we're on the moon, I suppose. Still wish it would be, like,
You're wearing
not
them
Hive,
down, Guardian.
you know?
Their metal is no match for your light. We need one more batch of data. Then you can jump into the Vex brain space.
How? Pitch. It worked. My stunning fan of, cunning fan, jeez, even, of, getting them from over here worked. much done, so grab some heavy ammo. Ah, more heavy ammo. Nice.
Countermeasures income. Turn them back to scrap.
What's the plan? Shit and piss. That was such a good thing. I know I keep saying it, but that's because it is.
Meatfrex says the vortex is almost ready. I don't know what that means, but the Vex want to stop you, so it must be good.
You're not into that, then?
The splice is complete. Enter quickly.
Whee!
After all this time, our key into the Vex network is a foreign traitor. Not even I could have predicted that.
Really and truly and overwhelmingly, like, eat shit though, you know? Ow. Oh. Tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, still didn't make the jump. Please just,
Crush their last defense to complete the splice.
Ow.
We have other networks to collapse.
Cartoons. I'm guessing it's still along the lines of 8 or something. Oh, I don't get stuck. You can get little stuck. That's a treat. Solitarian sisters. Solitarian sister, so another 12 minutes.
You have manipulated Vex data as you would the light. This is the power of the sacred Splicer. You did well, but never forget, you're a guardian first.
I mean,
Your power is
at the
a gift
moment,
from the traveler, not the fallen.
my power is kind of a gift from
Speaks the truth.
both of them, but
All hail the great machine.
okay. Let's get out of here. I missed the I'm gonna head to the helm instead of here. I think like 1 or 2 more of these and I should be done with that one. Powerful thags. Europa. Right, to 2. Reading the another noise, someone pounding on glass behind him. He spun, and one of them was in his house, looking out at him through the window. His sweaty fingers fumbled to turn the safety off that opened its mouth. Dad, the fallen shouted. Dad, you're standing in the garden. He looked down dumbly. Cherry tomatoes were crushed beneath his bare feet. His son yelled again, no longer a fallen, merely irritated and half asleep. Dad, come back inside. Hand shaking, he stepped out of the garden. He fought the urge to look at the sky as he walked into the house. Ah. Okay. Triumphs. Cool. Okay. So, let's head over here. Hi, dude. Messages? No. Okay. All of those. Sick. Okay. Let's head over to Europa. Oh, no, and we're going to head here first. Take a look at this. So we should be able to. Please stop. But, God, I wish we could try this. We'll just fuck about for the next 20 minutes doing that. It sounds like a plan, you know? Okay. I may have accidentally eaten an auto rifle. Oh well. Oh, yes, and there was something else. What? Maybe not. Oh well. Yeah. Oh, and I have a better idea. I also change that to an SMG. I can change this. I think that. I can. Hang on. You. Okay. Page down. I have a clue. Sidearms SMG. Oh, fuck, I've got loads of these. Okay. So, arc weapons, auto rifle.
We know a guardian from their walk. Proud. They'll ask, friend.
Emperor. Atlas Ridge. Oh. Arc. Computer auto rifle. Okay. It's not. What am I? Pretty. Cadmus Ridge. Let's go do some patrols over here. And our fallen are with lightning, so I can do that. Petraventus left eye is near. Oh my. That's where it went. Love the names that you get.
Drillers of House Salvation have found glimmer reserves. Left behind, perhaps by the ancient Bray. Intervene before they drain them dry.
Sounds like a good idea. Right, there we go. Oh. Nothing except waste my money. I just had the thought, which is that my auto rifle needs to be in lost sectors. After this, I'll swap to the SMG then, for the arc. I have no idea. What? What? That was just bizarre. I'm gonna have to clip that. Super too hard got yoked off the face of the planet. See if it happens again. Luckily, this time. Nice. Let me have a quick look to double check these. So, all in with arc down. Fallen with Arc, Vexed with Void. Thing is, there's no Vex around here. You may as well work on these two. I need to do patrols on Cabin Bridge. So.
Expedition rovers.
Oh, nice.
Braytech employees. Many were sacrificed to the study of this ravine. Not that Clovis Bray cared.
It's a nice and easy one.
My allies seek refuge here, but are overwhelmed by enemies. Perhaps the Guardian will clear their path.
Oh, dude. Double nice. Okay, now to keep on my SMG because it will help with close quarters. It's very simple, very simple. I can't see anything. It's hard to see. I'm not sure if that's what I intended to do, but I did. Sorry, not sorry that I keep singing to myself. Nice. Sick. He's done. Keep ourselves over here. Great one. So. One more to do. Then I will find some Vex to beat up. That did not work as intended.
Elixir of House Salvation bring war spoils back to the city. Please, Guardian, ensure they arrive empty-handed.
In a second, I've got some Vex to kill first. Did not expect them. Come around and it surprised more Vex. Chiller is such a good name, by the by. Forgot that it needs to be, I think it needs to be I do these guys again, to get me that done. There are more in here. Let's go find some more relics. There we are. There we go. me take care of this dude first. Phone says, have you had dinner yet? Nicely. No, I haven't. Cool. Right, so be done with that one. Evox and grapple with void need stuff. Ooh, nice. And it is also 8 o'clock on the dot, so I am going to finish things off here. I am going to say thank you very much for watching. It's very, very much appreciated. Thank you very much for coming along. I do hope you enjoyed. I will be streaming Final Fantasy XIV this Tuesday. It's patch 5.55, so we're going to be doing the MSQ, and if we have time afterwards we're going to be doing Bosha as well on Wednesday. If I don't have time to do the Bosha story and stuff on Tuesday, I'll be finishing that off and I'll doing it on Wednesday, depending on how much time there is on Tuesday. Thursday will be Higurashi When They Cry, Yoigoshi, where we are going to learn Neon secrets now. Next Saturday will be Neo Replicant, where we are going to start part 2. Wahoo! I get the feeling this is like the meteor part of the game, so I'm very excited. And then next Sunday will be more Destiny 2, where we will be doing whatever's next in Season of the Splicer. So I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I do hope you had fun. Do look after yourselves and be excellent to each other. Thank you for coming along, and I shall see you guys on Tuesday.